Hey folks, how you doing? This is Bill McGoldrick again, and we are back for our third lesson. Believe it or not, they actually had me come back here. So who knows? Maybe people are listening and watching. And as you can see, I'm here with my Norfolk Community Television, not cable TV. Sometimes I call it Norfolk Cable TV, but it's Norfolk Community Television. We had an event, was it last week or a week and a half ago, whenever it was, and in the freezing cold, and we had a blast, and we made these tie-dye t-shirts. Thus I have the tie-dye. So today, it's lesson 3. We are going to introduce a new set of chords today, and those new chords are going to be minor chords. And let's just talk about minor chords for a second. I'd say the majority of music oftentimes are in a major key. Like, this is a major key. That's a major key. So a minor song. Stones. That's from my high school band. I was playing when we used to play that song. So you think of a major chord as happy. Minor chord. Sad. But before we get into the minor chords, and we'll introduce 3 of them today, we're going to go over the first 2 lessons. We're going to go over our friends here, C, F, and G. And I know you've been dutifully studying these things and working on these. And I keep on going on tangents, and this reminds me of another tangent. I did mention, and a fan of our show did say something to the fact, and was criticizing or arguing with me about the concept that it takes 10,000 hours to get great at something. And again, great is a vague term. It's not an exact term. How do you define great? But it's widely known and widely at least thought of a sort of idea that it takes 10,000 hours to get great. And he actually showed me a TED Talk, and if you Google a TED Talk for it takes 20 hours to get good at something, that's probably the case. And I would say 5 days a week, for 4 weeks, an hour a day, 20 hours, with what we've taught you thus far, C, F, G, D, A, and E, you probably have the ability to play about 2,000 or 3,000 songs from just those chords, because so many chords, so many songs are written around those chords. Again, I want to take you, we talked about a level of guitar player from 1 to 10, 10 being a professional person like an Eric Clapton, and 1 being where you are today. Do you want to be a 3 or 4 or whatever? And so, my job is to try to do as many of these, who knows, maybe we'll do like 20 of them or so, to get you to that higher level. But right now, if you spend an hour a day doing exactly what we've been talking about here for 4 weeks, 20 hours total, you're going to get pretty good. I think we've done a couple of songs. We'll introduce another Beatles song today, which is pretty simple. And again, I apologize for my voice. I don't have a great voice. That's why I have a duo, usually with professional singers, and I do backup. But let's go over this again. Here we are. C. Right? The people's key of C. You got to get this one. And again, those 20 hours, I'm teaching a lot of private lessons these days. And what I've learned is just tough. It's one thing to learn the chord. It's another thing to learn how to go from the chord to another chord. That's the F chord, which most people hate. Because it's hard, because you notice I'm laying my finger down, and my fingers are pretty double jointed if you take a look. And so it's easy for me to do this, but it took a while when I was a 10-year-old kid trying to do this. So C, F. How many millions of songs have you heard that like that? Then go into a G. I don't know, 5,000 songs? How many ever? Again, if you get good in the part, one thing I always try to work with, at least new students, is music doesn't stop. Could you imagine like strumming my 16 on the front porch string? It doesn't stop to change. And that's where you are at the beginning. So you got to practice going from chord to chord. And if you're doing an hour a day, the other chords we introduced, D, remember? Made famous by The Who and Tommy. It's a triangle. It's a great chord. And A. I like to do 1, 2, 3. The book has 3, 2, 4. Whatever. It doesn't matter as long as you're blocking all 3 of those, you know. And again, when you block it like that and you rotate your first finger, your third finger up and down, that's rock and roll right there. But it starts with a basic A chord. And the last one we did was E. You know, this is E is and again that goes right into the rock and roll riff as well. Yeah, so many rock songs are in E, in the key of E, and use that. Just a small time girl living in a lonely world. E. And we'll get into these harder chords later. And there are a million derivatives, but what we're talking about is the simple stuff here. C, F, G, D, A, E. So again, these are all major chords. These are the major chords, the big ones. You gotta know these. Without these, you don't go to page 3, if you know what I mean. It's page 1, page 2. And what we're gonna do right now in concept here, we're gonna skip a few of the other harder chords, and we're gonna go to these 3 chords here. D minor. You remember, D. D, right? I don't wanna get too much into theory, but the whole concept of a minor chord is a major chord. In music, notes are given a numeric value. So in the key of C, the first note is called the 1, the C. Second the second note is a D. It's alphabetical. This is not hard. This is not rocket science here right now. But and the third note is E. C, D, A, do, re, mi. And when how you make a minor chord, that's major, right? You make a minor chord by lowering that third note here. I'm just playing 3 notes here. C, E flat, and G. That's a minor chord. So D, which is made up of D, the A note, the D note, and the F sharp note. F sharp is the number 3 note in the key of D. So if that's the number 3 note, and it's a major chord, if we want to make it a minor chord, we just got to lower that. It's a beautiful chord. Then you make it major. For you classical enthusiasts, that's called a pickety third, but we'll skip over that. But this is your 7th chord that you learned here. You've gone from C to F to G to D to A to E. Back to D. We lower that third, that F sharp to an F. Those are fairly complex things right now, and some of the picking we haven't gotten into, but it starts with a D minor. The more chords you know, the more songs you can learn. Another great way to learn is to pick a song that you want to learn, and when you're confronted with chords you've never learned, that's a great time to learn. Right now, I'm not really putting that together. We've done a few songs, and we'll try to do a song a little bit later here. But right now, we're talking about the minor chords. We're talking from a D to a D minor. And we're going to show, I'm sure we'll get the graphics here. We're on the first string. You get your first finger. And again, we talked about each finger having a tour of duty. The tour of duty for the first finger is the first fret. And the second finger is for that second fret, which is going to go on the third string. And then the third finger is on that D note, and that's a D minor. Absolutely bottom line, fundamental. Gotta know it. Gotta know it. If you want to go from level 1 to level 2, you need C, F, G, what do we do? D, A, E, and the minor big chords, if you will. And these are what I call open chords. So they're down here in the lower part of the guitar, and they sound really nice. Again, what I'm asking is an hour a day, 5 days a week, for 4 weeks, 20 hours. And I think it will get you, again, to argue with my friend who was saying it's not 10,000 hours, 20 hours. You know, I want you to get great. But right now, we want to get good. And being good, it takes at least an hour a day, for 5 out of 7 days in a week. The next big one, A minor. Remember A? We got A, right? That's an A note. Again, I'm contradicting myself because we need to play 3 notes on the second string, so you need to use all 3 fingers. And we talked about this earlier, right? And this is an E. This is an A on the third string, and on the second string is a C sharp. C sharp, A, B, C, in the key of A. First number would be 1, A. Second would be B, right? Third would be C sharp. Let's not worry so much about, we haven't even talked about scales, and we will get into scales, quite honestly. But right now, so if this open note's a B, and the next note up is a C, and the next note up is a C sharp. It's another thing I want you to be working on is knowing the notes. You need to be able to point to any note and know what note it is. But again, we're at the beginning here, we're at the fundamentals. So this is an A, right? Want to make this an A minor? Lower the third. And we talked about that, Angie with the song. E. G. What's that? What's that chord? That's an F, right? C. Then a falling bass line, it's a little complex. They have the 7th, which makes it kind of nice. We're not worried about that. I'll just play the straight chords that you know. G. F. C. A minor. Critical chords. So again, the minor chords that we're learning today. D minor, A minor, and another one. Again, if you know one chord, if you know an E, for instance, E. We talked about E, right? And what makes up that particular note? E, G sharp, B. That's that chord. This form here, it's an E, a B, an E, and a G sharp. E, F sharp, G sharp. The third note. What do we got to do to make this minor? Lower the third note. How many times have you heard something like this? A minor. F, G, C. You can make up some. A minor, E minor. And this is what I do at home. And music can't stop. You can't go. But that's what you're doing at home. You're doing that at home. If you're following along with this, and that's natural. That's totally the way it goes. And you'll get over that. Because you want to go to, You want to get that fast. E minor, A minor, D minor, A minor, E minor, A minor. So let's recap again. D minor. And you just got to get to the point. If you can get a close up, your fingers do get pretty strong after a while. I was just rehearsing with one of my duo partners, and she gets a little nervous sometimes between songs as far as how quickly she needs to get the lyrics in front of her, and I'm there. Forget about it, because I can play forever. I really can play 3 hours without stopping. It's just if you do this for a while, your fingers get very, very strong. And so D minor, A minor. Very sad sounding, huh? You can do little things like hammering on. Nice little taste. E minor. Okay, let's recap this. How many? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. We have 9 chords, right? C. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4 is 1 measure. 1, 2, 3 is 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's what you gotta. It's just good. We haven't even talked about the right hand. We will get into the right hand because. Again, we got, I want to go over a bunch of other things. We got a shorter period of time right now. So again, C, F, G, D, A, E, D minor, and you'll get some graphics of this, A minor, E minor. So, just a little aside here. One other thing I wanted to get into is a little right hand work here. Some picking exercises, and we will get visuals of this. But you want to get good with your right hand as much as possible. And so I'm going to show you 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4 picking exercises. Okay, we're going to do this. The book says 5th fret. We're going to do this down here. And what we're going to do is 1st fret, 4th finger, and then 1st finger, and then the 4th finger. Again, just go home, and it's right, and you're doing down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Just if you're sitting around watching TV and maybe you have an electric guitar, it's not plugged in, you're going to drive anyone crazy in your house. Just do this. And try to get fast with it, but just 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. That's one exercise. Another one would be, I'm going to skip over those 2 in the middle. I'm just going to do this one, bottom one here, and I'm not even sure if I did this earlier. This is a nice one. So we're just going to do, for the graphics, just the 1st one and the 4th one here. The 4th one is more or less a chromatic sort of exercise, and that's what these are called. These are called finger exercise. So you're just going to go up each note. Again, I talked about the tour of duty. 1st fret, 2nd fret, 3rd fret, 4th fret. Just practice this. It'll help with coordination. So that exercise and the 1-4 exercise. And you can practice your own, make up on 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2, 4, 1, 3, 2. Anything to get your fingers going and you're getting. What I don't want you to get involved in is just being sort of just playing the chords and not picking. not really picking. You know, this couldn't help you as we go along, and I hope to get into some improvisation and teach you some further up the scale here, or various scales up and down the neck. But the good way to start are these exercises. So 1 4 1 4 1 4 1 4 1 4 1 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 1 2 3 4 2 3 4 1 2 3 4. Okay, so let's talk about a song, and I don't have the actual song with me today, but I'll get a scan of that and send it to Norfolk Community TV, and we will go over that. But this is a great Beatles song, and it's called "I've Just Seen a Face," and it's I've just seen a face I can't forget, time or place, a G, you know that, you learned E minor. She's just a girl for me, and I want all the world to see we've C. Then to G, D, D, G. That's it. Had it been another day, I might have looked the other way in E minor. I'd have never known being aware, but as it is, I'll dream of her tonight. C. Then to D, 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 G. D, D. I am C, C. And he keeps G, G, C, 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 G. So again, we only have a few more minutes here. Let's quickly go over this again. Again, this is in the key of G, and chords, along with notes, are given numeric values. So if G, and G is the high end, there's no H, there's no I, so A, B, C, D, E, F, G. The next note is an A. A is the 2. The 3 is a B, 4 is the C, 5 is the D, E is the 6th, 7th is an F sharp, and the 8th, the octave, is a G. So I've just seen a face, that's the 1 chord. E minor, that's the 6th minor chord. Then to the 4 chord, C. So we're doing a little bit of harmony theory right now. C, the more you know, the better you are. The more you know about theory, it's a weapon you can use in your musical arsenal. 4 chord to D. I've just seen a face, I can't forget the time or place where we just see E minor. I want all the world to see. La 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 la. And it being another way, I might look the other way, and I've never been aware. As it is, I'll dream of her tonight. La la, see, see, see. Falling, yes, I'm falling. She keeps calling me back again. I have never known the likes of this. I've been alone, and I have missed things they've been outside. I'm the world's another guy like it. La 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 la. Falling, as I'm falling, it keeps calling me back again. Falling, yes I'm falling, it keeps calling me back again. 3 lessons we've done, I don't know, 9 chords. You have, if you know, there's a great Beatles book, I forget the name of it out there, and I'll show it next time. I'll scan it and you can take a look at it. It's a great, what we call a fake book, an easy way to learn songs. And if you're a big Beatles fan, pick any band. The chords that we have learned thus far in 3 weeks, you can play. Again, I think the 20-hour, my friend, Mark, if you're out there, this is for you. You're right, 20 hours you can get okay. I'm not going to say good, because the right hand, we haven't even talked about the right hand at all, because that's where music is made. You can do this real slow. I have never known the likes of this. I play a G to E minor, 2, 3, quarter notes, 2, 1, 3, da 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 C, back to D and to C. But you can't do, I've just never known a lot, da 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 da. I don't think you ever, if you listen on the radio, I don't think you're gonna hear music stop at ever. That's what you have going. So I'll take you out with Maybe I'm Amazed, which is a great song, and we'll see you next week. not going to sing it because it's too hard. Finito.